welcome back to another episode of The Power of Two Will Do Nothing for You.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Madison.
We're sisters.
we're sisters. We're sisters. And
we were born of the same womb. Not that you need that to be sisters. Oh, I regret saying it.
Oh my God. We're biological sisters, but there's a lot of ways to be sisters.
Are you doing an ad for something? Anyway, today we'll be chitty chatting about episode 2.
Season 1, episode 2.
Yeah, season 1, episode 2. I've got you under my skin.
So let's get the hell into this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! So we open on Quake.
Oh my God!
Which
I have to
love
say,
the iconicness of Quake.
Shot of the like sign for Quake.
Yeah,
it literally looks like I immediately was like, is this a restaurant at a theme park?
Oh, that is what it's giving.
Like the Jurassic Park restaurant at Universal Studios. Like that's what it's serving to me.
Also, in this initial, everybody looks great. Everybody, you can tell the pilot was like its standalone struggle.
Yeah, now we've got funding.
And like yes,
we've got support.
The hair is still not my fantasy, but it's improving.
Yeah.
Oh, we immediately meet.
We're getting into the story.
Very memorable at all ages, curly-haired, hand tattoo having friend.
Oh wow, really?
Yep.
Memorable at all ages because of the hand tattoo.
And the curly hair.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
And her name's Rachel.
I can't remember.
Did I make that up?
So sorry. Oh my God! I also think it's so funny because they say something in this scene about hand tattoos being illegal in the States.
Okay, yeah.
Which I don't think was ever true.
It was never a thing.
No.
When I saw that in the episode, I Googled were hand tattoos illegal? I couldn't find any proof of that.
So what, they just wrote that in?
I guess there used to be a lot of artists who wouldn't do it in the United States because of like weird societal reasons. Like it can be like, it can be hard to get a job. It can be hard to be taken seriously. It makes you look like a heathen. But yeah, that was really weird to me because that's never been illegal. I don't know where the person who's writing this got that. That's never been a thing.
Yeah, that's
because I know certain dyes used to be illegal in the United States because they were like, it was iffy on if the color was toxic.
Yeah, it's just interesting because it's like kind of unnecessary. So why was it even included? I don't know. It's not important. But
yeah, it was like a weird moment where like a line is said and it's like, why did you include that? It didn't need to be said. It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have to say, this woman, Rachel, approaches this car.
Oh my God.
Like
it was so weird.
A director was a man. I don't
like a director told her to like look back.
My thing is, okay, I don't know any women who don't look in their back seat
when they get in the car. Or even like the way she lingered at the car for so long. Like she would have her key ready. She would get right in the car and then she would look in the back seat and see that he was there and get
suppose
spooked.
That wouldn't work for the show.
But our friend with the hand tattoo gets snatched by somebody in her car.
Oh, Prue's being so shady.
We're running off in the wee hours of the morning from Mr. Hare.
Yeah, Andy, who doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, we're emotionally unavailable. We're avoidant.
As a teen, as a child, I didn't understand. I obviously didn't have like a framework for how rude this is. And it's very rude.
Yeah. She leaving him.
Like, what about his feelings? Huh?
She throws his alarm clock out the window, which is another level of rude.
Honestly.
Because now he needs a new alarm clock.
Yeah, damn.
Very disrespectful. He can't be using his iPhone. He don't have that. Yeah, and this like replacement theme song that's on
so
the stream.
Passionate about the replacement theme song.
It's so upsetting. Every time I hear it, I'm like, ugh, because the real theme song is just so correct.
My bigger issue is the replacement songs
within the show. Yeah,
wait, I wanted to see
into this. Yeah, it's literally royalty-free music.
Yeah.
Is this like a cover of a real song?
No, it's not. What is the song in the box set?
Torn.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the iconic song.
That is so unacceptable to me. Because for me, when I watched this show the first time, the music, the very 90s, 2000s music, like the intro songs, the outro songs, they were very important.
Yeah.
So like the way... And that's what I'm saying, people. You got to get a box set. If you're watching this, you cannot be watching this on Amazon or Peacock. You have to watch the OG box set because the real music is all switched and it is not the same.
Yeah, and that's what's so sad about like music rights and shit.
I know.
It's like they don't want to have to pay because it's so expensive.
Yeah,
so expensive, like thousands of dollars a year to have a song in your show.
Right.
It's just so sad because the music's important.
I know, it's so important. Like, what is this random little ditty? I don't know.
The song replacements are gonna get gnarly as we get further into the show.
And I'm gonna talk about
it. The songs don't fit. I live for this TV we see.
Also, side note, you know how Piper's watching this thing about
about the witch trials.
You know that like no one was actually burned in this particular place. They were all hung. That's just my random historical fact that I learned.
Which particular place? The place she's Amazon. Watching about?
Yeah. Ugh. I think it was like Massachusetts. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah. I'm gonna have to. But yeah, that was in the little Amazon
witch trials. This little witch trials tidbit makes me want to go into a whole tangent about the witch trials, but I'll control myself. Gosh. That's a different podcast. Making jokes about being burned at the stake because it's so funny when women are persecuted. I have a note from when I was watching this that was, when isn't Prue pissed?
I know. This is the element of this show that is strong, that is, you know, where it's like, when people say this, like, isn't feminist, I get it.
I do think that, she calls her a sleaze.
I know. And there is an episode there's a moment in the pilot where there's like some masturbatory shame that I can't remember, but it just like stuck in my mind. Yeah, there's definitely like, you know, it's one of those things where like with the sexual stuff, it's like we're just like almost there.
Yeah, and the thing that gets me, and this is like in Buffy too, and I feel like it gets worse with this show as time goes on, and I feel like you would think it does the opposite. I have things
to say about that as we get there.
It's funny because I feel like we're walking this weird line, and you know, this is the patriarchy. Like this is the stereotypical patriarchy. Like the way they dress these women.
Yeah.
Is so ridiculous. Yeah. Like their nipples are out. They're barely wearing anything. They're wearing a tiny skirt to work. Like what? They dress like 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time. Like sexualized 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
And then also they write these weird things where they're like putting them down for being sexual, but also these are women who are choosing to wear clothes that like show off their body. It's like a very weird mixed bag of confusion.
In the end, you know, it's again one of those things where it's like just tricky. You can see it both ways because also like there really hasn't been a lot on TV at this point where like Prue is unapologetically like she slept with this dude and like she's not lying about it. Like she's just like, hey, this is the thing.
Before.
Yeah. So that is,
it's like progress that's frustrating.
Yeah, it's something, but it's also weird that her sister would be like, you sleaze.
Yeah, it's
like
what?
Okay.
So weird.
Right. It's like we're really being both idealized for our sexuality and policed. Exactly. There's like a box we have to stay inside.
We're both being sexualized and being shamed for being sexual.
Yeah, I mean it's that pretty standard thing that can happen.
Yeah.
Oh my God, here we go. The cops, and there's their little dare sticker.
Oh my God. Wait, there's a dare
in
sticker?
the Andy shot.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Ah! This was the dare era.
Off drugs. Yeah, to keep kids off drugs. I went through the DARE program.
Same.
Oh yeah, it didn't work. Moving on. Let's just say it didn't work.
Turns out shaming people doesn't work.
Turns out. I was gonna say this scene between the cops with Andy and Daryl. Something about that specific scene. I wanted them to kiss. I wanted them to kiss. I was going kiss.
Oh my God.
Kiss. And they don't kiss because they never do.
Oh my gosh, I love this Hollywoodified pastor where it's like you're so a pastor.
Most attractive little pastor you've ever seen.
Charismatic, attractive little pastor who's dedicated his life to God.
I also live for this whole like Piper is afraid to go in the church because she thinks she might like burst into flames.
I also think it's funny because this is where it's like, you know, we kind of get to that whole like, oh, when you're making like a witchy mystical show, but you're like keeping yourself in this like very binary, black and white,
which is very anti-witch,
right? Like exactly, it's very the opposite of like the whole point of like paganism. Wiccan thought is just that like everything is everything and there's light and there's shadow and you really can't discern together. There's no like good and evil, like it's not like that. It's not so cut and dry. So it's just also funny. It's also funny that like Piper would be like you know you're not evil because what are your intentions, girl?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is like, has anybody who's evil, keeping in mind that term is not a real thing, that's a Christian concept, evil doesn't exist, but like has anybody bad or evil or like naughty ever thought to themselves, am I being naughty?
Exactly.
Like am I a bad person? Should I feel bad about myself? Like no, girl.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
It's also like your whole life I'm sure you've been to church. Like your whole child, I guess maybe not because their parents were witches.
Also, now she's magic. She wasn't magic before.
I mean, she's always been magic.
No. They had to read the little thingy and do the little thingy. I guess
their powers were like bound.
Yeah.
But also, it's just so funny.
You could fully...
She's terrified.
Take a shot every time Piper is jumpy as hell.
Oh my God. Every time Piper's jumpy as hell.
This whole good and evil thing is so funny to me.
Shaking.
Oh my God, the drama.
Handle.
There you go. Take a shot.
Take a shot.
But for real, the whole good evil thing kills me because it's like, just go take out some books from the damn library.
Oh my God.
You could just go read about actual Wicca and paganism, the history of paganism, the history of the witch trials. You know what I mean? Like if you read about the history of the witch trials, you'd know none of those women were witches. They were just like women who were single and had thoughts.
It was literally just an attack on women.
Right.
Like there were towns who were eradicated from women.
Yeah.
There were no women left in the whole town.
It's pretty wild. But yeah, my point is to read a book, guys. Read a book.
And then this scene in the elevator.
Oh my God, I actually love that.
With Prue going to her job interview. It is so cringe.
It's
her just openly having this conversation in front of this elevator.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Men.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
But I
guess they needed it to set up Rex Buckland.
Definitely. But I do love when Prue uses her power to make the elevator go straight up to the floor she needs.
I would absolutely
I wish I could do that. Especially since, you know me, I'm always late.
And I do love, though, it was funny because when I saw this, you know, maybe I'm just nervous at this point in my life. But I was like, if I were them, I'd be like on the floor praying to nobody. You know, like what's happening? There's a demon controlling the elevator. There's something controlling the elevator. We're going to slam through the ceiling Willy Wonka style. But no, they're just speeding up. They're like, what an odd inconvenience.
Oh my God.
And the elevator's rapidly
they're
rising.
Like, that was weird. Yeah. I guess you're lucky.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm super lucky. I'm not a witch at all. But yeah, we talk shit about this job in front of our potential new boss.
Right.
Which is, oh God. I would have to crawl under a rock and die.
Oh my gosh, I also thought it was funny because when she answers the phone, she puts it on the other side.
Like the opposite side of her arm.
Yeah, I was like, what? Obviously, it must have been a camera thing, but it's just so funny.
Yeah. That's strange. Why did the elevator have a mind of its own?
No, I also love how Piper just like freezes when she's nervous at random and it only lasts a few seconds. And Phoebe will just like get a vision at the most inconvenient times or about the most worthless stuff. But Prue can move an elevator however many floors consciously and intentionally.
Yeah, Prue's immediately like doing it intentionally. Oh, there's a coyote walking by.
Okay.
Lovely.
Hello.
Goodbye. Have a nice day, coyote.
It's the afternoon. They're lost.
It is 4 p.m.
Anyway. My God. Mr. Blockhead. We introduced Mr. Blockhead, a.k.a. Stefan.
Who's clearly a piece of shit.
I'm sorry, though. You know what's not very feminist? The fact that she's interested in this man when he openly says in front of his date, she's not my girlfriend. In such a rude, smug little way. He's just flirting
with a new person in front of the already current person we're dating. Like, how sleazy do you have to be?
Honestly. And now you're attracted to that, Phoebe? I mean, I guess that checks out for Phoebe at this point. Yeah. Or like she's so gullible. Like, oh, let me take your picture. That's the oldest trick in the book.
Never let a man take your picture.
No.
Not unless you've known him. And even then, don't do it.
Certainly not some random man who gives you an address on a wee napkin.
Every time a man has given me an address on a napkin, I always go there and I never die.
Yeah. That's not true. I've died every time.
I always die. Don't go to an address a man writes on a napkin, kids. Don't do it.
No.
That's a special tip.
Never do it.
From the cops.
My gosh. Prue at her interview.
I do love that we get to acknowledge to this lady. We get to have a little moment of like lady to lady. That guy, that former boss who I had who was bad mouthing me. Yeah, he was my fiance and he's just mad that I didn't marry him.
Right.
Like, come on. And we find out our new boss is the guy who was in the elevator with us.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no name for him. I don't know why. He inspires no name in my heart, my soul.
Well, he can just be himself. What's his actual name?
Rex, right?
Rex?
Rex Buckland.
All right. Mr. Rexy boy.
Right.
Now we've got an assortment of strange items.
Oh my gosh, that's what kills me. It's like this guy is, you know, feeding on people once a year or whatever. And like, but he's got such a, like, aesthetics are important to him.
Oh yeah. He's got the candles.
Yeah. He's got to have the candle set up. Oh my God. Wait, this is my favorite thing.
Light behind him. It's Javna. And then his eyes glow.
Why that is so funny to me. Like, no.
His glowing eyes are spooky,
or
though.
like, I'm sorry, is this a different girl? Was that a different girl, or was that the girl we just insulted?
No, that girl was a ginger.
Okay, right. Yeah. They had similar haircuts, and
Yeah, we're gonna have many victims.
Amen.
But yeah, look, this guy got to suck the life out of nice ladies.
Honestly.
To stay young and semi-attractive. 90s attractive, which to me is not.
Oh my gosh. Leave this man alone.
Oh, I was calling him in my notes Mr. Accent.
Oh, I do think when I watched it, I was like Mr. British.
Mr. British.
Yeah.
Mr. British. That's Rex's name.
Because he's very, very,
very
British. Yeah.
Yes, he's very British.
The truth is, I have nothing to say about this scene.
Yeah,
it's
this is just
Javna.
standard. Oh my god, just again, it's Javna. Yeah, this scene is just standard Prue telling men off. Like we could make a montage of Prue telling men off.
Yeah, and like
she just gets to kind of prove that she is a badass.
She's enticing. She don't need nothing from you.
She's good at her job.
Right.
She knows shit about art.
She said, yes, I said it was stuffy, but do you not agree that it's stuffy? Let's move on.
She said, listen,
boy.
You called me. Don't be mad. I don't want the job.
Right.
You're the one who wants to give me the job. Cry me a table, Mr. British.
Right.
We're back at the church, and I'm spooked. But yeah, we are loudly in front of people at this church, which, like, if you're going to talk loudly about being a witch, the place not to do it is the church. Like, do it anywhere else. Did this pastor just flirt with us?
No, or I'm pretty sure. I love how basically Piper asks this pastor,
oh my God,
like, what do you think? And he's basically like, kill it with fire.
Yeah, she's literally like, if someone were a witch, would that be bad in the eyes of God?
Right.
Would the Lord be okay with me being a witch? And he's like, well, if you go by the literal interpretation from the Bible, kill her with fire.
Yeah, basically.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. What a weird response for a modern man to give a lady.
Right.
Like, thanks for that.
This whole Phoebe lottery situation is like, God. Okay, this is my argument, right? So obviously you can't do stuff for personal gain. So why couldn't Phoebe just play the lottery, but like with the thought and spoken intention of, I'm going to donate all this money? Couldn't then she have a whole, I don't know. I want to know. I want to know. This would be like.
But also, honestly, I have a lot of feelings and thoughts about this whole personal gain concept because as a real actual witch, this is not a thing.
I mean, yeah, but you can't move things with your mind.
Well, yeah, but it's not like you can't do spells that help you to achieve things you want to achieve or like to get where you want to go. And I think in this scenario, if this were a real thing where these witches have like this prophecy that they have to be like the good witches and like lead the fight for good against evil, and like they're basically going to have to give up their whole lives and personhoods.
Shouldn't they get something
to defend the earth? Like, shouldn't they be able to like clean their room with a snap of their hand and like get a little money from the lottery? And like, I don't see anything wrong with that.
I mean, I want to know, how like, toward the end of the episode, we circle back around to this lottery thing and her numbers disappear. Yeah, I want to know if the couple she helped, I hope their numbers didn't disappear.
I would think it worked.
In my mind, they're rich somewhere.
If she didn't need to do something with it. Like, come on.
Yeah. In my mind,
I just think it's kind of silly.
They're rich somewhere.
I just feel like these shows like this, Buffy, like they love to talk about personal gain. You can't do personal gain. You can't do personal gain. And again, that's like a Christian filter on a Wiccan pagan witchcraft concept.
Right.
Like it just doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah. And here we have again Daryl and Andy.
Cops in the
we
car.
love them, but cops being morally perfect and desperately driven.
Inaccurate
That's
cops.
A fascinating concept. We'll just leave that there.
Just leave that there. Ponder that. Yeah, and Phoebe's on a date with this awful man.
Yeah, awful man.
What was his name?
Javna. Stefan. Blockhead. Mr. Blockhead.
Blockhead.
But also, Side note, Phoebe looks great. 10 out of 10 choker.
Yeah.
Living for the choker.
Really good. I lived for the choker and the dress.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
Something I hate, acting pet peeve, their drinks are full.
Oh, they're not going to touch the drinks at all. Oh, yeah, and our hand is fucking nasty.
Yeah. Our hand's getting nasty. Somehow she hasn't noticed.
He's starting to turn gross and ugly, and he needs to feed soon.
He's becoming decrepit, as they say.
Yeah.
Standard sister bickering at this time.
Yeah, and we're bickering in the kitchen because where else do you bicker?
Mm-hmm. The kitchen at my actual job.
Yeah, the kitchen at my job. It's a safe place for my sisters and I to bicker openly. And again, this is another situation where we're loudly talking about being witches in public. Mm-hmm. Just loudly, passionately arguing about being witches.
I know.
Piper accidentally freezes the kitchen.
Right.
And then we got to do a classic stall the cops.
Of course. You got to stall the cops until the kitchen unfreezes.
Yeah. We don't know how to unfreeze it at this point. We don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And all those plates break, which makes me so upset.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we save the plates?
We get better at that. You know, like, oh, I'm just happened to be under you when you dropped the plates.
I just ran really fast. Haven't you seen Twilight?
This whole chunk of like the cops in the kitchen, I feel like this is like a really good like Charmed finding its like rhythm vibe because it's very funny. The timing is really good.
Of what?
Just all of it. The acting.
Like just it getting frozen and then stalling the cops and then like the cops coming in.
Yeah, even it's just like, you know, it's like fun. It's silly and fun and it's not like not taking ourselves too seriously vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, Piper's hello darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like
she's real upset about being a witch.
Fundamentally, I feel like these were like really well-written characters. Mm-hmm. So that carries a lot, and then the acting is like super well done. But it is just it's restricted by the whole like good versus evil concept. Yeah. Because like we just talked about, that is not a pagan concept. No. So that comes up over and over again. It's like, oh, we're doing this whole good versus evil battle.
Yeah.
But we're also trying to act like we're doing the Wiccan read on life.
Yeah, like basically
which doesn't really
going
work.
Up to that pastor and asking a pastor about being a witch is basically the same as asking a modern day Republican about abortion. Like they don't know what they're talking about. They're going off of misinformation. Like what? Don't ask a pastor about being a witch.
Well, yeah, they're
ask
going
a witch.
Right.
Like, hello?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, Piper needs... And this is where I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about Buffy. I'm thinking about Giles.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. No, that is one thing we're really... Yeah.
We need that, like, mentor. Mm-hmm. That, like, guiding... We need an adult. We need an adult.
I know. We get little pieces of that through certain moments.
Yeah, we'll get to some stuff. But, like, right now, I'm like, I'm craving an adult.
Yeah,
a magical adult who can tell us things.
I do think it's fair though, like as much as I'm like blah 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 Piper, go get a Wiccan book written by a Wiccan person. I also get it. You know, Piper's the kind of person who's neurotic. She's nervous. Like I said, she's jumpy as hell. So, you know, there's going to be a part of you that's like, am I evil? What am I capable
and also
of?
like you talked about last episode, like she didn't grow up with any of this, so she's coming off of like, you know, everything she's been taught by society and her own like limiting thoughts and beliefs about what it means to be good or evil or like, you know, so it makes sense she's kind of freaking out. I just hate it.
Yeah.
But this scene is cute between Phoebe and Piper because it was like baby sister pep talk.
Well, it's kind of like the kitchen scene where I was like, this is like if I were going to explain Charm to someone, I would be like, it's magical hijinks. Like it's silliness. It's like, oh, everything happening at the worst imperfect time. Yeah. But then I would also say it's like really touching moments.
Yeah.
And between like good chemistry. And like that's why I feel like this episode like really establishes like what the show's gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the first one is so much about just like setting everything
up. Of course, yeah. Inevitably, a pilot is like you're just trying to sell the pilot.
Yeah. And like here we're really getting settled into our lives. And who we are.
And also I think it's important because, you know, we've like seen Phoebe as the like irresponsible
the sister.
Right. And she's not. She has like her own strengths.
Yeah.
Which I like.
And as the youngest sister, I know that sometimes you got to tell your older sisters that they're cool. And they get down on themselves.
Alyssa Milano for sure brings just like a pizzazz to the show. Like, and especially watching that unaired pilot, that was like abundantly clear that like she brings like a certain something.
Yeah, definitely. And we're on a date with Mr. Hare.
Yeah, which if I were Mr. Hare, I would be like, listen, Pruey, you don't just sneak out
on my
at 5 a.m. It's super unclear. I got feelings too.
Yeah. Just because I'm a big boy.
Now you got me feeling weird.
Doesn't mean I'm not a baby boy.
Right. Just because I'm a big boy named Mr. Hare and with really, really good cutie crow's feet when I smile doesn't mean that I don't have feelings.
Yeah. Boys do cry.
Amen.
And so do men.
Yeah. Don't sneak out of his place.
Yeah. Mr. Hare deserves more than that.
Right.
But I understand. As an avoidant person, I get it.
I also like this for the show that like we're not just jumping into a
we got to make them work for it.
Yeah,
you know,
got to get that slow burn. You got to be anxious. You got to have that anxious attachment.
You got to be anxious. Oh my God, I loved
a beeper
at the end of that scene when the beeping goes off. Is it like a page? Is it a phone or a pager?
I assume I don't know.
I thought it was a pager, but then I feel like she grabs a phone out of her pocket.
Maybe. Did phones make pager sounds? I don't know. I don't even know how to
whatever
how
her 90s technology is, it goes off. It goes beep, 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 beep. And Andy goes, dating in the 90s. And I was like,
that's actually so funny.
No, it just gets worse. Like, bro, this is as peaceful as it's going to get from this point forward.
Okay, wait. This is so important to me. Piper invented an unconfident mantra.
I have nothing to be afraid of. Me every morning when I wake
Literally.
up. Me in my bed every morning.
Outside
I have nothing to be afraid
store.
of. Yeah, she's trying to hype herself up to go in the church.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to hype myself up to get out of bed.
Literally to like participate in society.
Yeah, to talk to a human.
That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen, and all others.
Humans and non-humans.
Yeah. I mean, I want to know where they filmed this though, because
what church is
gorgeous doors.
Really good church.
Me at this church just like disconnecting the doors and running. No, I'm sure they're really heavy.
Doors.
I need the knockers
you're
on
gonna
these
need
doors.
Several strong people.
Yeah. You don't think I can do this with the strength of 10 men? Oh yeah, we're stepping right in.
We have nothing to be afraid of.
Imagine if she stepped in there and just burst into flames.
That would be a twist. That'd be quite a twist.
Turns out Piper was evil the whole time.
Oh my God.
It's the one you least suspect. Yeah, Holly Marie Combs is adorable.
Yeah. She's a cute person.
She just like made Piper. And
I live for, this is so specific and weird, but
she's just yep, now I know I'm not evil because the church didn't kill me.
I live for her eyebrow, the one that has like a little notch in it.
I love her eyebrow. She invented the eyebrow notch.
Oh my God.
I don't know if there's like something behind that
our hand tattoo friend.
I know. Yes, we see. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there something behind that eyebrow notch?
I don't know. Like meaning like, is that just how her choice, did she have a scar? I don't know. These are my important questions.
Eyebrow questions.
Back to Rachel, old Rachel. That's her name, right?
Yeah, I think so. Rachel. Oh my God, it's Brittany. Her name's Brittany.
Oh my God,
Brittany.
Why are we calling her Rachel?
Her name's Brittany.
I guess it's just like, name.
Oh my God,
that a lot of people have.
Different name.
Anyway,
but yeah, Brittany. We see Brittany with her hand tattoo, but she's old as shit.
Old, very old.
So Piper's like, what?
Yes.
We don't know what's going on.
It is funny though. One of the little silly, you know how Amazon does those silly little trivia notes? One of them was that if she had really aged, her tattoo would be unrecognizable. I was like, good point, Amazon.
Oh
Nothing gets past you.
That is somewhat true.
Yeah.
But also you can argue she aged like really quickly. Not in a natural way.
You're right. So maybe it's different. He just sucked the life from her. Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? This is just my fun little tidbit.
Now Prue's at her potential new job, trying to show these hoes how qualified she is. And I have to say, this lady who plays, I don't know what her name is. Do you know what her name is?
The redheaded lady?
Rex's like right hand
person. I don't remember.
At the art place.
It'll become relevant.
I know her from Disney Channel.
I was going to say.
She is the mom in Good Luck Charlie.
I know.
And I never really watched that show because it was a little out of my time.
Oh, let me tell you.
When I was aging out.
Let me tell you, when I watched that show, I nannied some children, and that was all we would watch.
Oh, so you know her too?
I know her. Well, I didn't recognize her. You know me. I IMDb'd every single actor in every single scene. So I was just like curious, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's her.
Yeah, you see, I recognized her, and I had to Google it because I thought it was crazy.
Quick sidebar though, back to Brittany. I don't care if I'm a witch. If I happen to run into someone who I'm pretty sure is my suddenly aged friend who I just met or who I knew or whatever, I don't care what I am. I am checking myself into a facility.
Oh, yes. I need to go away.
Oh, my God.
But yeah,
the Bucklands.
At Bucklands, we are
identifying
fully exposing ourselves.
One thing that I do think, I know, well, we couldn't help it because we didn't want pain. It was instinctual. Yeah. But one thing that I do think is kind of funny is like, I don't know a ton about art. Like I'm not like an, whatever, but I know some things like that was obviously a Degas as soon as you look at it.
Oh yeah. Everybody knows that sculpture.
Right. And that's what I do think is kind of funny is that it's like, oh, we're having, Prue identify things to test her, and one of the things is a Degas. Like,
oh my God,
I don't think that's gonna test her.
Even the painting, isn't it like a
I think so. They were like very basic. Yeah, like it was sort of like we made Prue an art curator, but we're not gonna like.
I feel like in later episodes she's identifying things that are more complicated. But yeah, and we immediately find out that those two people at Bucklands are sketchy.
Right. They wanted Rex to know if she were a witch, if she had her powers.
They are clearly aware of magic, and it seems like they might be naughty boys.
Right. They might be naughty. They might be shady.
They might be demons.
And they might be naughty.
They might be something.
Right. We are tired of demons finding us, let me tell you.
Yeah. But I also love in that scene with the paint, when Prue uses her power to not get paint on her, I love how we note that she gets paint on the other gal's shoes. And like it's supposed to be like the most offensive, rude thing that Prue possibly could have done. Like get paint on this lady's shoes. They like make there's literally a shot of the lady being like, oh, paint on my shoes.
But I also think we're supposed to be like, this lady is a bitch.
No, definitely. No, that's why. That's for sure. Saying. It's just like so funny. It's like a funny little bitchy moment. And then we get home and Piper is cluing us in to our now very old friend, Brittany. Right. And we're all shook. We don't know what's going on. We're very confused.
So Phoebe is at the shady location.
Getting ready to get her picture
doing
taken.
Dumb shit. And I will say my immediate first thought was, if this, because Phoebe is supposed to have just come from New York.
Yeah, so she would be street
New York
smart.
In the 90s was a specific experience.
Oh my God.
And I just think it's funny because it's like, if Phoebe were living this way, this like reckless, sure, I'll go anywhere, wherever in the 90s in New York, she'd be dead.
She never would have lived.
Like there's no way. This would be an alternate universe where we talk about our dead sister.
Yeah, but she has a premonition that something is awry. News. Why would she have the van for the restaurant her sister works
I have
at?
no idea.
And we trying to book it out of there, but then just like happened to Brittany, the demon's behind us in the car and he grabs our ass.
He loves abducting women from cars.
A lot of jump scares in this episode.
A lot of jump scares. Also a lot in these first couple episodes of like real life, man on woman crime things made into demons, which arguably there's nothing spookier.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I love when we get deeper into the show and we're doing like mythical creatures, we're doing like complex storylines, all this stuff. But I really love the roots are like real spooks.
Yeah.
With a twist.
Yes. And I love this scene that's like kind of sunsetty, like a sunset. And and Prue and Piper are looking in the Book of Shadows trying to figure out what the hell happened to Brittany. And the director in me loves the shot because it's like it's dark. The color from the stained glass windows is so pretty. Oh my gosh,
it is.
I love it.
Do you know what is this a real reference? The Hand of Fatima.
I don't know. I could Google it. It's the Hamsa.
Oh.
Protection in both Jewish and Islamic cultures.
Already.
Yeah, so this is another real thing that we're basically just taking to mean it's...
it's tricky. It's like, what are you going to do?
Whatever.
Could like make up your own stuff, y'all. Anyway.
Yeah, why not just make up your own things instead of taking our shit and acting like it's not real?
I mean, it's
like, I get it, but like you could like the Hand of Fatima is an actual thing. It kind of offends some people, but nobody ever cares if they offend us. They only care if they offend the Christians. But then Brittany sees the address on the fridge, on the napkin.
Right, Brittany sees the address. Phoebe. She becomes quite faint.
And she passes the hell out. Her head hits the ground.
Then we're talking about Stefan, a.k.a. Blockhead, and she goes,
putting it together.
Javna. I'm going to name my first son Javna.
Oh, firstborn Javna.
Maybe my daughter.
Oh, I bet you'll be so proud.
Of course.
Javna is a gender-neutral name.
It is, and I'll just make them go up to random people and go, it's Javna.
Exactly.
Yeah. People will love it. They'll have no clue what they're talking about.
So we've finally put together that Phoebe's in danger.
Yeah.
Which Phoebe's with Javna.
Right. Yeah, Javna loves to emerge from the darkness. Go, it's Javna. It's like part of his like ritualistic thing. Gotta have the candles. Gotta tie the lady down. Gotta go. It's Javna.
And I feel like he needs a brush.
You need something.
He's a brush. Just because you're falling to pieces doesn't mean you can't brush your hair.
I guess, that's not their permanent state, so what do they care?
I guess.
They only care about Mr. Blockhead. They don't care about Javna. They're not going to moisturize. They only
care about Mr. Blockhead.
Which I don't get. Not going to moisturize. Not going to put some oil in that hair.
Oh, I hate the whole his laser eyes go into our eyes.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And then our eyes are connected by lasers. Makes me want to throw up. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
But we're saving Phoebe. We knock Javna to the ground.
Screw you, Javna.
And then he's doing the laser eye thing to Prue, and I really don't like it. It's just a distraction, though.
You know what gets me? If Javna just like put a Craigslist ad out for people wanting to sacrifice themselves to a demon, like just be real about it. Yeah, he'd get so many responses.
Yeah, people are weird.
Like, why not just kill people who want to, like that episode of Buffy with all those people who want to be eaten by vampires.
Oh my God,
I mean, they're a little misguided, but it's like, listen, let the weirdos sacrifice themselves.
Even in real life, there's all those people who say they're vampires and they drink blood. Yeah. And they get volunteers who let them drink their blood.
People are into some weird shit.
You'll always find somebody who's into it.
I'm sure somebody out there, Javna, would have done this. Like, you could have gotten consent.
Javna, do this with consent.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. This is important to me. The death.
Yeah, so we're using our spell to vanquish him. And I love this scene too because they're really doing a spell for the first time, like intensely together, all saying it together.
Right.
It's vibes. And he turns into a skeleton.
I will say, I gave this death a pretty low rating. I gave it a 4. Here's why. Because just obliterated into ash. No fun. Just gone and dusty. All demon deaths.
You look dusty.
Yeah, all demon deaths are good, but this one was not a thrill.
A little bit not satisfying.
No.
Not fully satisfying.
A skeleton and then ash. No. I want something frisky.
Yeah. But we vanquish him, and all of his bad magic gets undone. We all become young again. And all is well.
All is well.
And it is very cool. Phoebe says it's very cool. And it is very cool.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. If I had done that, I'd be like,
here are the cops.
Cool. Cops, late as usual.
As usual.
Too late as usual. Crime's already been committed.
We just happen to suspiciously be here.
Yeah, this begins the trend of us being at every crime scene when the cops arrive. And it's not a good look. It's not great. It looks a little shady, Boots. It's questionable.
Luckily, we got our main hoes, our good boys, to cover for us.
Oh my God, I was gonna say though, we Medusa'd him. We used a mirror to reflect his laser eyes back to him.
Love that.
So I love that.
Or we I was gonna make a Harry Potter reference, but I give up.
Why?
I can't remember.
Oh right. Oh my God.
You got to be careful because you never know what man who offers to take your photos is gonna kill you.
Oh yeah.
Burn lasers. Burn your eyes with lasers and take your youth.
Yeah, it could happen.
It could happen to any of us.
To you. Look out.
Yeah, the way, oh man, being a witch, interesting and cool, good for everything but our love lives, which is our main focus.
We live for our love lives.
Weird.
It's the only thing we care about.
It's just funny. Like, oh, we just killed a demon and now we're just like
talking about boys.
But I am in this new relationship. Glad we survived that. Let's talk about what matters.
The men we're dating. Yeah. And our lotto numbers disappear. We can't win the lotto, which is bullshit. Like, she just almost got murdered by a demon. I think she can have some money from the lotto. Come on.
Oh, we do a toast. And then we're gone.
We do a toast and we do our little bing bong bing.
Oh, love our little bing bongs.
Out of the episode.
Anyway, that was episode 2. It happened. And it's Javna.
Yeah, so that was Javna. And we hope you join us next time for our next episode of The Power of Two Will Do Nothing for You. New episodes are released every Thursday here on YouTube and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Give us a little 5-star rating if you want to go to heaven.
She's now full priest and she's selling spots in heaven.
I am. I can get your loved ones out of
purgatory.
Purgatory.
Yep.
for just a small 5-star review of our podcast.
Yeah,
that's
so do that
just
quick.
the way they were doing it in the 1600s.
They were selling.
They said like and subscribe, and I'll get your friends out of purgatory.
Yes. Yeah. Another way to make sure you don't end up in purgatory is to like and subscribe.
Of course.
So do that. Leave a 5-star review, like and subscribe. Do all 3 just to be safe. Just to make sure you're okay.
Great.
And remember to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Power of 2 Pod. And we will see you next week.
Yeah, I can't imitate. Well, but
you'll hear us.
I can't imitate this death, which is a disappointment. But you know what? There are deaths to come.
You don't think you could fade into
I
ash?
can't.
You don't think you could do that?
God.
I could see you doing that.
Okay, I'll practice.
Never would.
Anyway, gotta go practice.
All right.
Goodbye.
The Power of 2 Will Do Nothing for You is a Vanderland Productions podcast hosted by Jordan and Madison Vanderland, produced and edited by Madison Vanderland. All featured charmed audio and video clips are registered to the original copyright holders.